Hey everyone, I'm Noah.
And I'm Lila. We're really happy you're here with us today. Noah, can I ask you something a little strange?
Uh-oh. That tone sounds like I'm about to question my entire life.
Maybe you should. When was the last time you looked back at a whole year of your life and actually remembered what changed?
That is uncomfortably deep for this time of day.
I know, but think about it. Not what you did. I mean, what actually changed? Your life, your habits, you.
Honestly, I remember Monday, then suddenly it's Friday, then somehow it's next month.
Exactly. It's not even that something bad happens. That's the weird part. Nothing dramatic, nothing big, but time still disappears.
It's like life is on fast forward without asking us.
Yes. And one day you sit there thinking, wait, didn't this year just start?
I had that moment recently. I was organizing my room and found something I thought was recent. Turns out it was from last year. I just stood there like, wait, how long have I been in this same version of life?
That feeling hits differently because it's not about being busy. Some people are busy every day, some people are not. But both can feel the same thing. Time just slipping.
And the scary part is, you don't notice it while it's happening. Only when you pause for a second and think back.
Or when a new year starts and you realize you're still thinking the same thoughts you had before. Same plans, same I'll start soon, same waiting.
Yeah. I'll start soon is basically a time machine that goes nowhere.
Exactly. And that's what today is about. Not forcing you to become perfect, not turning your life upside down overnight, and not pretending every second has to be productive.
But something more honest. How life quietly passes us by when we're not really paying attention to it.
And how small changes in awareness can actually make time feel real again, like you're living it instead of watching it go by.
We'll share simple moments, real realizations, and small shifts that make a bigger difference than you'd expect.
So just stay with us for a bit. No pressure, no rush.
Because before another year disappears, it's worth asking one question.
Am I actually living my life or just moving through it?
It's time to change your life before another year disappears.
Let's begin.
Lila, I want to tell you something slightly embarrassing.
Oh, this is already interesting. Please continue.
Last month, I was cleaning my apartment. Not because I suddenly became responsible. I was looking for my charger.
The universal reason for cleaning.
Exactly. Anyway, while searching, I found an old notebook. One of those notebooks people buy when they feel motivated. You know the type.
Oh yes, the New Life Starts on Monday notebook.
That's the one. So I opened it. And inside was a list of goals I had written a few years ago.
Interesting. What was on the list?
Learn guitar. Read more books. Exercise regularly. Improve my English. Wake up earlier.
Those sound pretty normal. Actually, they sound exactly like half the internet.
That's what I thought. Then I noticed something strange.
Uh-oh.
I looked at my current goals, and they were almost identical.
Wait, the same goals?
Almost word for word.
No way.
I wish I were joking. For a second, I thought maybe I had accidentally opened a recent notebook. But no, the notebook was years old.
Ouch. That's one of those moments where reality gently punches you in the face.
Very gently, but definitely a punch.
What did you feel?
Honestly, confused. Because I hadn't been doing nothing. I was busy. Really busy. Working. Answering emails. Paying bills. Running errands. Doing all the normal adult things.
Right. So where did the years go?
Exactly. I wasn't standing still, but somehow I wasn't getting closer to the things that mattered either.
You know what? I had a similar experience recently.
Really?
Yeah. A few months ago, I walked into a bookstore. And I saw a novel I wanted to read years ago. Years.
Let me guess. You still hadn't read it.
Not even page 1. And suddenly, I remembered all the times I told myself, I'll read it when life gets less busy.
That's dangerous, that sentence.
Very dangerous. Because life never sent me a message saying, congratulations, you are now officially less busy.
I've never received that email either.
Neither have I. And standing there in the bookstore, I realized something. I wasn't waiting for time. I was waiting for a perfect version of life that doesn't exist.
Wow, that's good.
Think about it. How many things do we postpone because we're waiting for the perfect moment? Learning English, starting a hobby, taking care of our health, calling an old friend, trying something new. We keep saying soon.
And somehow soon becomes next month, then next year, then someday.
And someday is a very crowded place. That's where unfinished dreams like to live.
That's funny, and a little painful.
The painful jokes are usually the most accurate.
You know what finally hit me? The problem wasn't that I was moving slowly. The problem was I was walking in circles. That realization stayed with me for days.
Because movement and progress aren't the same thing.
Exactly. A rocking chair moves all day, but it never goes anywhere.
Okay, that's actually a perfect metaphor. A rocking chair can work very hard and still stay in the same spot.
And I think a lot of us accidentally do that with our lives. We're exhausted. We're busy. We're always doing something. But when we look back, we wonder why nothing important seems different.
So maybe the question isn't, am I busy? Maybe the question is, am I moving towards something that matters to me?
That's a powerful question. Because being busy can feel productive. But sometimes it's just motion.
And motion can be comforting. It makes us feel like we're making progress, even when we're going in circles.
So let's ask our listeners something.
Yeah, think about this honestly. What is one thing you've been saying you'll start later? Maybe you've been saying it for months, maybe for years.
And if nothing changes, will you still be saying the same thing next year? Because life changes surprisingly fast, but only if we do.
Noah, can I confess something?
Absolutely. This sounds promising already.
A few weeks ago, I woke up on a Tuesday. Normal Tuesday. Nothing special. I got out of bed, made coffee, checked my phone, answered a few messages, got dressed, started working, had lunch, worked some more, watched a few videos, went to sleep.
Okay. Sounds like a normal day.
That's exactly the problem. A few days later, I couldn't remember a single thing about that Tuesday. Not one thing.
Whoa. Not even one detail?
Nothing. No conversation, no moment, no memory. It was like the day existed, but I wasn't really there for it.
That's actually kind of wild.
Right? I started thinking, how many days have I lived like that?
That reminds me of something that happened to me recently. One morning my alarm went off. I grabbed my phone, and before I even sat up, I was already scrolling.
Classic.
Very classic. Too classic. I checked the weather, then messages, then a video, then another. Then somehow a guy was reviewing camping equipment.
Do you even go camping?
Never. I don't know why my brain thought, yes, this is critical information.
Your survival instincts were preparing for something.
Apparently. Anyway, after a while I stopped and thought, wait, I haven't actually made a single decision today.
Interesting. What do you mean?
Everything was automatic. Phone, coffee, emails, work, lunch, more scrolling, more work. The whole day was already running before I even woke up properly.
Oof, I felt that.
And that's when something clicked. I wasn't choosing most of my day. My habits were.
Wow, that's a surprisingly uncomfortable thought.
I know, because we like to think we're making choices all day, but sometimes we're just following a script we've repeated hundreds of times.
Like an actor who forgot their acting.
Exactly.
You know what's funny? Last month, I accidentally took a different route home.
Accidentally? How?
I was listening to music and missed my usual turn. For a second, I thought, wait, where am I? Then I realized I had been taking the exact same route for years.
Years?
Years. And I had stopped noticing everything around me. The buildings, the trees, the little bakery on the corner. It was all invisible.
Because your brain had switched to automatic mode.
Yep. And then I had this weird realization. Maybe I wasn't only driving on autopilot. Maybe parts of my life were on autopilot too.
Wow, that's deep.
I know. I sounded very philosophical for someone who got lost 5 minutes from home.
The best life lessons sometimes start with being confused.
Fair point. But seriously, I started asking myself questions. Why do I check my phone first thing every morning? Did I choose that? Or did it become a habit years ago? Why do I spend my evenings the way I do? Did I choose that? Or am I just repeating yesterday?
And honestly, I think a lot of people listening might feel the same. Not because they're lazy, not because they're doing something wrong, but because habits are powerful. Really powerful.
Powerful enough to build a life, or quietly build a life we never intended to create.
That's the scary part. Nobody suddenly wakes up 10 years later and says, wow, I'm exactly where I planned to be.
Sometimes they wake up and say, how did I get here?
Exactly. One repeated day becomes a week. One repeated week becomes a year. And eventually that year becomes your life.
You know what metaphor comes to mind?
Let's hear it.
Autopilot. Autopilot is amazing on an airplane. Passengers love it. Pilots love it. Everyone arrives safely.
That's true.
But autopilot was never supposed to run your entire life. Because planes have destinations. Autopilot follows a route. If your habits are controlling your life, you should probably check where they're taking you.
Wow, that's actually really good.
Thank you. I had coffee before this conversation.
It shows.
So maybe here's a question for everyone listening. What part of your day happens automatically? Your morning? Your evenings? Your weekends?
And if you repeat it today, again and again, for the next 5 years, would you be happy with where it leads? Because habits are quiet, but their results are loud. You know what hit me the other day?
Uh-oh. Whenever a sentence starts like that, something philosophical is coming.
Maybe. I was sitting in a cafe, just drinking coffee, doing absolutely nothing important, and I started wondering, what would happen if I met myself 10 years from now?
Oh, that's a dangerous thought.
Right? Imagine it. Future Noah walks through the door. 10 years older, a little more gray hair, hopefully still handsome.
Hopefully. Look at that confidence.
I'm trying my best here. Anyway, future Noah sits down across from me, and after a few minutes he asks, so, what did you do with those 10 years? And honestly, I didn't immediately know what answer I'd want to give.
Wow. That would be uncomfortable.
Very. Because I could talk about being busy. I could talk about answering emails, paying bills, watching random videos. But would future Noah actually care? Probably not.
That's such a good point. Nobody wants their life summary to sound like a to-do list.
Exactly. Future Noah probably wouldn't ask, did you clear your inbox?
Congratulations! You answered 47,000 emails. What a legacy.
Thank you. Please write that on my tombstone.
No, absolutely not.
But seriously, I think he'd ask different questions. Did you learn the things you wanted to learn? Did you spend time with people you loved? Did you try things that scared you? Did you actually live?
Okay. Now you've got me thinking.
Oops, sorry. We're in deep water territory now.
No, because I had a similar thought recently. Mine happened while cleaning my room, which is already unusual.
The rarest event in nature.
Exactly. Scientists should study it. Anyway, I found an old photo of myself, maybe 10 years ago, and I just stared at it for a minute.
What were you thinking?
Honestly, I felt protective of her, that younger version of me. She had dreams, plans, things she wanted to do, places she wanted to visit, skills she wanted to learn.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then a strange question appeared in my head. Would that younger version of me be excited about who I've become? Or would she be disappointed by how many excuses I've made? That question stayed with me.
Oof, that's powerful.
Because excuses always sound reasonable in the moment. I'm tired. I'll start next month. Maybe next year. I don't have enough time. And sometimes those reasons are real, but sometimes they're just comfortable.
Comfortable excuses. Those are the hardest ones to notice.
Exactly. And I suddenly thought, I don't think future me wants another year of excuses. I think she wants stories, experiences, growth, memories, something to show for the time she was given.
You know what's interesting? Future you doesn't need you to become perfect.
Not at all.
Future you probably doesn't care if you become rich, or famous, or incredibly successful.
But future you might care that you never started.
Exactly. That's the difference.
Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. What would they thank you for? Learning English? Taking care of your health? Starting that project? Calling your parents more often?
And what would they wish you had stopped postponing? Because every future version of us is being built right now. Not next year, not someday, today.
It's funny, isn't it? We spend so much time worrying about the future. But the future is quietly watching us create it every day.
And maybe that's the real question. If future you walked into the room right now, would they smile and say, "Thank you"? Or would they say, "We need to talk"?
Honestly, that might be the most terrifying question of this entire episode.
A little terrifying, but also hopeful. Because tomorrow's version of you is still under construction. And that means there's still time to build something you're proud of. Anyway, I want to tell you something weird.
Oh, this should be interesting. Go ahead.
Sometimes when people talk about changing their lives, they imagine some dramatic movie scene.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Like, tomorrow they wake up at 5 a.m., drink green juice, run 10 kilometers, read 3 books, start a business, become fluent in English, and somehow also learn the guitar.
Meanwhile, real life is like, I folded my laundry today.
Exactly. And honestly, real life changes usually look a lot more like laundry than movie montages.
That sounds disappointingly true.
But also kind of comforting. Because if change comes from small things, then anyone can start.
You know what? I think people underestimate tiny decisions. They think small choices don't matter because they don't see immediate results.
Right? Nobody goes to the gym once and says, "Wow, my entire life is different."
Imagine that. 1 push-up, new personality, new apartment, new career.
A single push-up, and suddenly you're speaking 5 languages.
Exactly. Sadly, that's not how it works. But something interesting happens. 1 workout becomes 2, 2 become 10, 10 become a habit. And one day, you look in the mirror and realize you've become a different person.
The same thing happened to me with English. At first, I only listened for 10 minutes a day. Honestly, it felt almost useless. I thought, 10 minutes? That's nothing. But after months, those tiny lessons added up. And suddenly, I could understand conversations I couldn't understand before.
That's the funny thing about growth. While it's happening, it feels invisible. Then one day you look back and think, wait, when did I get this far?
Exactly. Actually, your story reminds me of something. A few years ago, a friend invited me to an event. Nothing special, just a local gathering.
And let me guess, you didn't want to go?
Not at all. I was tired. I almost texted, "Sorry, maybe next time."
That sounds very familiar.
I was literally holding my phone, ready to cancel.
Wow, that's close.
Yeah, but for some reason, I went anyway. And there, I met someone. At first, it was just a normal conversation. Nothing magical, nothing dramatic. Just two people talking.
And?
That person eventually became one of my closest friends. He introduced me to opportunities, new ideas, new people. Some of the best experiences of my life happened because of that friendship.
Whoa. So if you had stayed home,
My life would probably look very different today.
that's incredible. One small decision, one evening, one conversation, and years later, the effects are still growing.
Exactly. People talk about the butterfly effect, the idea that tiny actions can create huge consequences later. And honestly, I think life is full of those moments.
I agree. One application, one phone call, one English lesson, one book, one introduction, one choice to say yes instead of no. You never know which small decision is quietly changing your future.
That's why I think waiting for motivation can be dangerous. Sometimes you don't need certainty. You just need movement.
I like that. You don't need certainty. You need movement.
Because nobody can predict which small action will matter most.
And maybe that's actually exciting. Maybe your future isn't changed by one giant moment. Maybe it's being shaped right now by something that looks completely ordinary.
A short walk. A new habit. A message you finally send. A skill you finally start learning.
Or maybe by listening to this episode instead of scrolling for another 30 minutes.
I was hoping you wouldn't call them out like that.
Hey, somebody had to do it.
Fair enough.
But seriously, I think that's the beautiful part. A meaningful life isn't built in one day. It's built from thousands of tiny decisions that most people never notice.
And one of those decisions might begin today.
Not next year, not someday, today.
If one small decision today could change your future, what decision would you make?
A tiny steering wheel movement can change where a ship arrives years later. Sometimes a small choice changes an entire life.
You know, Lila, there is something strange about time. Most days feel ordinary. Nothing dramatic happens. You wake up, you work, you eat, you talk to people, you go to sleep, and it feels like just another day.
Yeah. But then one day you look at a photo from 5 years ago and think, wait, where did all that time go?
Exactly. A year doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives one day at a time, one decision at a time, one ordinary morning at a time.
And that's why today's conversation matters. Because the future isn't built someday. It's built today.
A year from now, you'll arrive somewhere.
The only question is whether you arrive there by accident or by choice.
Maybe you'll be stronger.
Maybe you'll be happier.
Maybe you'll know a new language.
Maybe you'll have better habits.
Maybe you'll finally start that thing you've been thinking about for months.
Or maybe you'll still be waiting.
Still saying, I'll start next week.
I'll start next month.
I'll start when I'm ready.
And honestly, I think you're more ready than you think.
Me too. You don't need a perfect plan.
You don't need perfect timing.
You don't need a completely different life.
You just need one small decision.
Then another. then another.
Because tiny decisions create new lives.
And the best part? You can make one right after this episode ends.
Before we go, here's one question to carry with you today. What is one small action your future self would thank you for? Not tomorrow, not next week, today.
Maybe it's sending a message. Maybe it's starting a habit. Maybe it's learning something new. Or maybe it's simply putting your phone down for 10 minutes and being present.
Whatever it is, we hope you choose it.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
And thank you for being part of this little community.
Until next time, take care of yourself.
Take care of your time.
And remember that your life isn't happening in the future.
It's happening right now.
We'll see you in the next episode of Slow English HQ.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.